Chapter 10 goals are summarized as follows. 1. Illustrate the difference between application development and system development. 2. Motivate the need for the system development life cycle and Scrum. 3. Illustrate some of the difficulties in creating and managing an inter-enterprise system. As a future business professional, you will be involved in the development of new technology application to your business. You may take the lead, or you might be an office manager who implement procedure and train people, and you might become a business analyst and work as a liaison between user and technical staff. If nothing else, you may be asked to provide requirements and to test the system to ensure those requirements have been met. Whatever your role, it is important that you understand how processes and systems are developed and managed. Study question. Question 1. How are business processes, information system, and application developed? Question 2. How do organizations use business process management or BPM? Question 3. How is business process modeling notation used to model processes? Question 4. What are the phases in the system development life cycle or SDLC? Question 5. What are the keys for successful SDLC project? Question 6. How can Scrum overcome the problem of the SDLC? Question 7. MIS and 2024. Business processes, information system, and application are different and related. Figure 10.1 shows activities in an ordering process. A quotation is prepared and assume the customer accepts those terms. The order is processed. Inventory ability is verified. Customer credit is checked. Special term, is any, are approved, and then the order is processed and shipped. Each of these activities include many tasks, some of which involve processing exception. For example, only part of the order is available. The activities in a business process often involve information system. In Figure 10.1 illustrate that all activities except approved special term use an information system. Each of these information system has the 5 components that we have repeatedly discussed. The actor or participant in the business process are the user of the information system. They employ information system procedure to use information system to accomplish tasks in process activities. Each of these information systems contain a software component. Developing software nearly always involves the data component, and it often involves the specification and characteristic of hardware, for example, mobile device. Therefore, the term application to mean a combination of hardware, software, and data component that accomplish a set of requirements. However, not all process activities use an information system. Some require just manual tasks. In Figure 10.1, the approved special term activity uses no information system. Consider that any of information system in Figure 10.1, for example, the inventory information system, in addition to providing feature and function to verify item availability, the information system has other features that support additional business processes. For example, the inventory information system supports the item ordering process, the item sorting process, and more. Therefore, we can use the terminology of Chapter 5 that relationship of business processes and information system is many to many. One business process can potentially use many information systems, and a single information system support potentially many business processes. Furthermore, a business process is not required to use an information system, but every information system supports at least one business process. Figure 10.2 shows the business process and the information system relationship using an entity relationship diagram. We can summarize as follows. 1. Business processes, information system, and application have characteristics and components. 2. The relationship of business processes to information system is many to many. However, a business process need not relate to any information system, but an information system relate to at least one business process. 3. Every information system has at least one application because every information system has a software component. Many different processes have tried for the development of processes, information system, and application. We will investigate 3 methods. 1. Business Process Management, or BPM. 2. System Development Life Cycle, or SDLC. And 3. Scrum. BPM is a technique used to create business processes and to manage changes to existing processes. Except for startup, organizations already have processes in one form or another, in varying level or quality. If they did not, they would not be able to operate. Therefore, BPM is, in most cases, used to manage the evaluation of existing business processes from version to an improved version. As shown in Figure 10.3, the SDLC is a process that can be used to develop both information system and application. The SDLC achieved prominence in the 1980s when the U.S. Department of Defense required that it be used on all software and system development projects. Scrum is a new development process that was created in part to overcome the problem that occur when using the SDLC. Scrum is generic enough that it can be used for development or adaptation of business processes, information system, and application. Figure 10.4 shows personnel that take the most active and important role in business process, SDLC, and Scrum. A business analyst is someone who is well versed in Porter model in the organization strategy and who focus primarily on ensuring that business processes and information system meet the organization competitive strategies. The primary focus of business analysts is business processes. System analysts are information system professionals who understand both business and information technology. They focus primarily on information system development, but are involved with business analysts on the management of business processes as well. System analysts play a key role in moving development projects through the SDLC or Scrum development process. Applications are developed by technical personnel such as programmer, database designer, test personnel, hardware specialists, and other technical staff. System analysts play a key role in developing application requirements and in facilitating the work of programmer, tester, and user. In Chapter 3, we define a business process as network of activities, repositories, role, resources, and flow that interact to accomplish a business function. Activities are collection of related tasks that receive input and produce output. A repository is a collection of something. An inventory is a physical repository, and a database is data repository. The new term in this definition is role, which are collection of activities, and resources, which are people or computer applications that are assigned to role. Finally, a flow is either a control flow that directs the order of activities or data flow that shows the movement of data among activities and repositories. Process quality has two dimensions: efficiency, use of resources, and effectiveness, accomplished strategy. The most obvious reason for changing a process is that it has efficiency or effectiveness problem. Consider sales process. If the organization goal is to provide high quality service, then if the process takes too long or if it rejects credit inappropriately, it is ineffective and need to be changed. With regard to efficiency, the process may use its resources poorly. Changing technology is the second reason for managing processes. When new technology changes any of process activities in a significant way, the entire process needs to be evaluated. That evaluation is another reason for managing processes. A third reason for managing business processes is a change in business fundamental. A substantial change in any to the following factor might result in the need to modify business processes. 1. Market. For example, customer category, change in customer characteristic. 2. Product line. 3. Supply chains. 4. Company policy. 5. Company organization, for example, merger, acquisition. 6. Internationalization. And 7. Business environment. To understand the implication of such changes, for example, a new category of customer could mean that the credit check process needs to be modified. Perhaps a certain category of customer is too risky to be extended credit. A change in product line might require different way of checking availability. A change in supply chain might mean that the company no longer stock some item in inventory, but instead ship directly from the manufacturer. The company might make broad changes to its credit policy. It might, for example, decide to accept more risk and sell to companies with lower credit score. In this case, approval of special terms become more critical than checking credit, and the sequence of those two activities might need to be changed. A merger or acquisition will mean substantial change in the organization and its product and market, as does with moving portion of the business offshore or engaging in international commerce. Finally, a substantial change in the business environment, for example, in the onset of a recession, might mean that credit checking become vitally important and need to be moved to be the first task in any business process. Figure 10.5 shows the basic activities in BPM, a cyclical process for systematically creating, assessing, and altering business processes. The cycle begins by creating a model of existing business process called as-is model. Then business users who are involved in the process and business and system analysts evaluate that model and make improvement. As we learned in Chapter 7 that business processes can be improved by changing the structure of the process, by adding resources, or both. If the process structure is to be changed, a model of the change process is constructed. Two common ways of adding resources to a process are to assign more people to process activities or to create or modify information system. The second activities in the BPM process is to create component. In this activity, the team design changes to the business process adapt sufficient for implementation. If the business process involves new information system or changes to existing information system, then system development projects are created and managed at this stage. Some activities involve information system and some do not. For those that do, information system procedure need to be created to enable user to accomplish their process tasks. Implementing the new or changed process is the third activity in BPM. Converting from an existing process to a new or revised one usually meet with employee resistance. Once the process has been implemented, well-managed organizations create policy, procedure, and committees to continually assess business process effectiveness. The Information System Audit and Control for Information and Related Technology has created a set of standard practices called COBIT, or Control Objective for Information and Related Technology, that are often used in the assessment stage of the BPM cycle. When the assessment process indicates that a significant need for change has arisen, the BPM cycle is repeated and adjusted. New process models are developed and components are created, implemented, and accessed. Effective BPM enables organizations to attain continuous process improvement. Like quality management, process improvement is never finished. Process effectiveness is constantly monitored, and processes are adjusted as and when required. One of the BPM 4 stages, and the most important stage, is to model business processes. Such models are the blueprint for understanding the current process and for designing new versions of processes. They also set the stage for the requirement for any information system and application that need to be created or adapted. If models are incomplete and incorrect, follow-on component cannot be created correctly. In this question, you will learn standard notation for creating process documentation. Business process is defined as a network of activities, repositories, roles, resources, and flow that interact to accomplish a business function. This definition is commonly accepted, but there are dozens of other definitions are used by other authors, industry analysts, and software product. For example, IBM, a key leader in business process management, has a product called WebSphere Business Modeler that uses a different set of terms. It has activities and resources, but it uses the term repository more broadly. A software industry standard organization called the Object Management Group, or OMG, created a standard set of terms and graphical notation for documenting business processes. That standard called Business Process Modeling Notation, or BPMN. The basic symbols are easy to understand, and they work naturally with our definition of business processes. Figure 10.6 summarizes the basic BPMN symbol. Figure 10.7 shows the as-is or existing order process introduced in Figure 10.1. First, note that this process is a model, an abstraction that shows the essential element of the process but omit many details. If it were not an abstraction, then the model would be as large as the business itself. In Figure 10.7, the diagram is shown in swim lane layout. Each role in the business process is given its own swim lane. There are 5 roles. Therefore, there are 5 swim lanes. All activities for a given role are shown in that role swim lane. Swim lane layout simplifies process diagram and draw attention to interaction among components of the diagram. 2 kinds of arrows are shown. Dotted arrow depict the flow of messages and data flows. Solid arrows depict the flow of sequence of the activities in the process. Diamond represent decision and usually contain a question that can be answered with yes or no. Process arrows label yes and no exit 2 of the point to the diamond. 3 of the activities in the as-is diagram contain a square with a plus sign. The notation means that the activity is considered to be sub-process of this process and that it is defined in greater detail in another diagram. In Figure 10.7, one of the sub-process is the check customer credit sub-process. This sub-process is shown in greater detail in Figure 10.8. In Figure 10.8, note a role named Customer Credit Information System. This role is performed entirely by an information system. Once the as-is model has been documented, that model can be analyzed for problem or for improvement opportunities. For example, the process shown in Figure 10.7 is a serious problem. The problem involves allocation. The operation manager role allocates inventory to the order as they are processed, and credit manager role allocates credit to the customer order in process. These allocations are correct as long as the order is accepted. However, if the order is rejected, these allocations are not freed. Those inventory is allocated that will not be ordered, and credit is extended that will not be processed. One fix, several are possible, is to define an independent process for reject order. In figure 10.7, that would mean placing a box with a plus sign in the reject order activity, and then designing the reject order subprocess to free allocation. Sometimes BPMN diagram are used to define process alternative for discussion and evaluation. Another use is to document processes for employee training, and yet another use is to provide process requirement documentation for system and application development.